For my entire life, my political choice has been pretty simple. It was really a matter of gratitude. But lately, something's broken, and I have to figure out why.
And look, I'm not being dramatic when I say that. The opportunities I've had, the whole framework of my life, it was all built on the promises and, for a long time, the progress of the post-apartheid government. So my loyalty, it wasn't just political, it was deeply personal. It felt like a debt that I was genuinely happy to repay every single time I voted.
But here's the thing. Gratitude can't fix a road. It can't clean the water, and it sure can't keep the lights on. The space between the promise that I've held on to for so long and the reality I see with my own eyes, well, it's not a gap anymore. It's a canyon. And this pothole, it's not just a pothole. It's a symptom of a much, much deeper problem.
And that's the question, isn't it? That's what started this whole thing for me. How did we go from this incredible story of liberation and hope to a story of decay and dysfunction at the most basic level of government? I had to find out.
So I started looking around, for alternatives, for answers. And what I found was, well, this number, 507.
So that's the new mission, sifting through the noise of 507 different options to find one that actually has a credible plan. This can't be about blind faith anymore. It has to be a critical investigation, using cold, hard data to find real solutions.
And my guide on this journey, my primary source, is this: the latest report from the Auditor General on local government. It's brutally honest. It's packed with data. It's basically the official record of where and how things are going wrong. This is the evidence.
Okay, so how do we even begin to make sense of all this? I've boiled the Auditor General's findings down to 3 key areas. Let's call them money, things, and people. We'll follow the data for each one.
Let's start with the money. And this number, honestly, it's almost impossible to get your head around it. 33.29 billion rand. That is the amount of irregular expenditure, money spent without following the proper rules, in just our country's 8 biggest cities.
And please don't think of this as just some abstract number on a spreadsheet. It's not. It's the sewage leak in your street. It's the clinic that runs out of supplies. It's the project that never, ever gets finished. This is the physical result of broken financial controls. And just look at where some of that money goes missing. The national government sent out nearly 70 billion rand to help the poorest household with free basic services. But 60% of that money, 60%, meant for 4.4 million households, never even made it into the municipal budgets. It just vanished from the plan.
And here, this is the human cost of that chart. When billions in aid just disappear from the books, it's not some simple accounting error. It's a profound failure that hits the most vulnerable people in our society the hardest. It is a fundamental promise, completely broken.
So how on earth does this keep happening? Well, it turns out that almost half of our municipalities knowingly, deliberately passed budgets that they knew they couldn't afford. They basically invent revenue they won't get, underestimate their costs. They are planning to fail from day one. The whole system is built on a financial fantasy.
Right, so let's move on from the money and see how all that financial chaos translates into the physical world around us. Let's talk about things. The roads, the pipes, the basic infrastructure we all depend on.
And the numbers here are just as bad. Get this, most of our major cities don't even have a basic plan to maintain their infrastructure. Over half are just straight up breaking environmental laws. In just one province, we lost nearly 3.5 billion rand to water leaks alone. And a staggering 87% of municipalities, 87%, aren't following the basic rules for buying things. It's just systemic neglect top to bottom.
Which brings us to the final and maybe the most important piece of this puzzle: the people. The money's a mess, the infrastructure is falling apart, so where's the accountability? Why does it feel like no one ever pays the price for all this failure?
Just look at this. When the Auditor General's own team flagged things that looked like potential fraud, what happened? In almost 40% of cases, absolutely nothing. The allegations were just ignored. There is a deep, deep reluctance to actually hold anyone accountable for anything.
And here's the perfect snapshot of why. This is the leadership situation in just one of our major cities, Mangaung, over only 3 years. 3 different mayors, 4 municipal managers, 5 different chief financial officers. It's a constant revolving door. I mean, how can you possibly enforce consequences when the person in charge today is gone tomorrow?
So you see, it's not just about a few bad apples. All the evidence is pointing to a total systemic breakdown.
It's like an accountability black hole, where responsibility just goes to disappear. Let's quickly look at how the machine is supposed to work and then where it's actually falling apart.
In theory, it's a pretty clear chain of command. The municipality does the work and reports on it. The local council keeps an eye on them. If things go wrong, the provincial government is supposed to step in. And at the end of the day, there are supposed to be consequences for failure. Simple, right?
Well, in reality, that chain is broken at every single link. Councils don't follow up, provincial governments get the reports and then do nothing with them, mayors don't make sure the problems found in audits actually get fixed, and if things get really bad, officials often just resign before they can face any disciplinary action. The entire system designed to protect us has failed.
So, after all that data, all those depressing charts, what does it all mean for you? It means this is not just some interesting project I'm doing. This stuff directly affects your life, and the upcoming 2026 local elections are your chance to actually respond.
I want you to forget the big, abstract national debates for just a second. This is about the fundamentals. Local government is what determines the quality of your actual daily life. It's about whether your trash gets collected, your water is clean, and your streets are safe. This is where politics gets personal.
And that is exactly why I'm doing this. The 507 Project is my attempt to find a way forward, to move beyond old loyalties and just look at the hard data, to really examine the policies and to connect all of it to the reality we see on the ground.
So, I'll end with this one question, and it's not just for you, it's for me too. After all of this, do you actually know who is responsible for your town, for its successes, and for its failures? Because if we don't know the answer to that, we can't even begin to fix it. Let's find out together.